Hey, what is up, guys? So I'm back for another Ask or Meet Some BS, and today we're going to be looking at a topic that's everywhere, it seems, this past week. We do not have official confirmation yet, but let's just get into it.
I don't have a theme song, so this is a placeholder.
So, of course, the big question most of you want to know was, hey, Armin, is race important when it comes to a certain character? And I've seen this debated both ways, so I'm hoping to tackle it from both ways. First, to me, depends on the character. So let's get into that. Mary Jane Watson, that's the big topic at hand. That's what people want to know about. Can Mary Jane be black? Yes. And I want to ask you guys that are going to be against this, because I guarantee there's comments and dislikes going on right now. Define to me what aspect of her character makes her white. Tell me that. What aspect of her character makes her white? Like, where's that one story where she had to fight for white, you know, like anything? Like, where was the moment where she's being attacked because she's white or something like that? I want you guys to go find that in the comics and relay it back down in the comments below. Where's that one character that says she has to be explicitly white? Or, the most defining characteristic of her is her red hair. Now, on the other side of that, people are already going to go, oh, but you're one of those people, so you don't care about race change. You're going to, oh, no. I bet you'd be pissed if they changed Black Panther to a white guy, and yeah, I would. Because it's Black Panther. He's the king of Wakanda, an African country. He inherently has to be black. Luke Cage has to be a black guy because his story, how he gets his powers, the crime life, that's all tied into his origin. You see how that works? It's the same thing as like Peter Parker. Peter Parker, nothing explicitly about him says he has to be a white guy, which is why at one point they were actually screen testing, African Americans because they didn't care, because there's nothing about him. Miles Morales, on the other hand, his whole story, it hinges on that character being black. So when you think about that, yes. Now, there's other characters out there too. Iron Fist. First, everybody was bitching, oh my god, they didn't cast an Asian, what the fuck? And then on the other side of that, oh my god, they didn't cast a black person as the... But Iron Fist's story is ingrained in him being white and an outsider in Kunal. Now, the same thing with that goes with those same people complaining that, like, just imagine, okay, so let's say, hypothetically, Marvel came out there and said, fine, Iron Fist, you're not a white anymore. You're gonna be Asian. Then here's the other crowd. Why the fuck does that? God damn it, the Asian guy does martial arts. You see what happens here? Like, there's a big distinct war on either side, because you can't win them all. You can't lose them all. And if you're Marvel, you're just gonna lose them all, depending on what casting choice you make, apparently. So there's like this both, like, just heads of the argument are just kind of butting into each other, and no one's backing away with the dumbest argument ever. Now, I will say, I think it's natural that they changed Mary Jane. When you look at New York, when you look at Queens, you're gonna see like 1 out of 10 people is just a pure white kid. Because that's how it is. That's goddamn New York, okay? I mean, look, like, you go there, and you're gonna see straight up descendants of all those Italians that came here. Why? Because that's what happened. And, you're going to see descendants of everywhere from Europe, and you're going to see black people, and that's what happens, because that's the day and age we live in. So, I don't see why people are so upset, considering it's in New York. This was a given, and this was going to happen. Now, it's one of those things also where you really have to think about how they're framing their universe. And the universe they got today has to differ from what was established in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Because some of you might not want to admit it, but let's face it, when Spider-Man was invented, large portions of this country were against black people. So, inherently, you would have to make the entire cast white, because if you made it anybody in there black, you would sacrifice comic book sales. That's a problem. I'd like to think, since the 50s and 60s, we've moved past that, and now we live in 2016 where that's not an issue. But then again, looking at who the hell might be leading our country this November, apparently I'm fucking wrong, and apparently skin color is the matter with everything now, and it's the most important thing ever. It's not the traits of a character apparently that matters anymore. You know, it's all about what they look like now. So, fuck it, right? And then going along with that further, when you really think about what the issue here is, it's people arguing about Zendaya being Mary Jane Watson, but they don't really have a basis to argue on. You haven't seen anything she's done for the Marvel movies. Like, nothing. Like, we've seen one photo, maybe 2 photos of her, and we don't know what the context of those photos is, what's happening. We don't know anything, honestly. We don't know anything about this character and what they're doing with her. The same way we don't know what way they're portraying this Peter Parker. I mean, we got a glimpse into his world in Civil War, but that's a small glimpse out of this bigger universe they're building. And it would stand natural that if Peter Parker goes to school, that he's going to see and interact with various types of kids with various colors. I mean, say what you will about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and you guys know Spider-Man 2, and I've talked about this multiple times, is the reason I am the person I am today, but look at those movies and see how white they are, because Sam Raimi did want to capture the 60s spirit of everything, and they're just, you know, that's not New York. That's not New York, I'm sorry. New York doesn't have the cleanest streets around like these movies portray. You go to Times Square and walk one street down, you're going to see homeless people and trash everywhere, garbage bags everywhere, and that's a reality. That the world isn't what the movies seem to be portraying. So maybe we should, instead of attacking them for being more accurate, maybe we should celebrate the fact that Marvel is acknowledging the fact that there are different skin colors out there, and you don't have to stick to source material all the time on a character especially that's as bland as Mary Jane. So let the hate commence.
Isn't it funny how geek culture is just everywhere these days? I mean, really, just think about it. Everywhere you look, geeks are running culture and media. But it gets even better because now, every month, you can have a good box of geek stuff delivered right to your door. You don't even have to get up. That's how awesome it is. This is, of course, the monthly mystery box from Geek Fuel. Check it out in the description down below or go to geekfuel.com/CBC to get some geekly goodness in your life. Geekly? Is that even a word? Geekly? What?